Are you still holding on to guilt somewhere in your body or in your unconscious mind? And maybe you're not quite sure where it comes from, but you keep on feeling guilt coming up in certain scenarios. And most of the time it is because there's something that happened in your childhood, or maybe when you were a teenager, that you haven't actually resolved. And you just put the lid on and didn't deal with it. So forgiveness can actually only really occur when you're doing the 3 steps. And number 1, it's very important that you are owning what you did. For instance, a client of mine, she remembered in a session when she was 7 that her best friend asked her to keep something a secret that she told her. And somehow the child was very truth-loving, and she couldn't keep secrets very easily, and she did tell someone else, which of course came out, and that made her lose this best friend. And for the little one, it was quite dramatic, and she felt bad about that until now, like 20 years later. And so the first step is actually to tell yourself, yes, I did that. So you fully own it, and you are taking, the courage to, yes, I did that, because really naturally you are a strong person. If you wouldn't own it, you are pretending you are weak and you can't carry that burden. But when you are making yourself strong and coming back to that, you can own it just like that. That is a must. It's kind of humbling yourself. And the step 2 then, the next step is you have to make it right with the other person. So maybe you can write a letter to them, or if you can't get hold of them, you could write a letter anyhow that's sort of energetically addressed to them, which has the same effect on those inner levels, on the energetic levels. You've done the job as good as you could, because if they can't be reached, then they can't be reached. And now you've made it right with the other person, but now you still got to deal with yourself, right? Because only if you are actually forgiving yourself fully and you feel it, you feel you have let it go, only then is that act done and made better, and it's redeemed. So forgiving yourself is often the hardest, because you keep on telling yourself, yeah, I could have done it better, I shouldn't have done that, and why did I, and how could I, and all of that does absolutely nothing, okay? You've got to see that telling yourself bad stories and making yourself wrong or bad or judging yourself is the worst you could do. So again, just face it, tell yourself, okay, because when you are acting as if you were a higher instant, like God, if you like, yeah, and you are pretending you're God, and you tell yourself, your younger self, it's okay, I forgive you. This can happen. I know why you did it. You're only human. It's all right. We all make these so-called mistakes, but really we are learning from them. And when you can actually own it up to yourself in that way, and you're even saying to yourself, I let myself off the hook. I am choosing to forgive myself because I no longer wish to hold on to this low vibrational guilt feeling. It is actually affecting people. I've had clients who had skin rashes, skin irritations because of deep-seated guilt, which comes out lots later usually, and then there's no connection anymore. But if you can now really truly let it go and forgive yourself in that way, that's fantastic. And now the last bit to make it actually balanced is to decide either to never do that again, to really kind of swear to yourself, to promise yourself, I will never do that again, and or make it better with a good deed, that could balance it out. Something that you feel could balance it out. Do something good for someone else, help somebody, do a good deed of whatever you want to do. It's your decision. Nobody can tell you that. And that will feel good to you, because what happens is then our brain does not remember the old bad memory that you have been holding on to for decades. And instead, it holds on to the good feeling, that the good thing that you've done, the good deed that made you feel proud or just joyous or happy in yourself, because you made other people smile or you gave them some happiness. In some ways, you made someone else happy or, better in some ways. And that new memory will then come into the foreground, and the old bad memory will just fall away. And now your brain is holding onto that good memory, and you will start to feel good about yourself again. And you really, really can let it go. It's gone, it's done, and it's in the past. And now you're just always focusing on what else could I do that other people might like. But of course, only if you want to. Yeah, we don't want to become pleasers. So, the best way to make something that you feel was wrong better is by redeeming it, right? To make it better. Do something that makes it better. And then you've done everything you could for yourself. And that means you are now loving yourself again. Because if you don't do that, and if you hold on to the guilt, you're not loving yourself, and your vibration in your body and around you is pretty low. And that means you're attracting other low circumstances or situations to you. So make sure you love yourself, let go of the guilt, and really love yourself by doing those 3 steps. Lots of love to you. Until next time.